For a while now in Ignition, there's really only been one, me. But the really good news is that the team is back. Have a look, and now there are two.
Actually, there are three.
The new look Mazda 3 was unveiled to the public in late 2008. It suggested that the most distinctive element of the second-gen Mazda 3, the smiling front design, is in response to the recent recession. Now that would make sense, except we're pretty sure that this has been in development for quite a bit longer than the auto industry's been in the doldrums. Either way, driving it does put a smile on your face.
Feeling quite vocal.
Vocal. You're in a singing mood.
Yeah.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay.
Maybe I should just let you do the singing, because I'm really not that good.
Okay, so we're in the Mazda 3 today. Let's sing its praises.
It's got a very sporty feel when you get inside the cabin.
It does.
I think that's inherently Mazda though, because we joke with that zoom zoom, but they do have quite a soulful, sporty feel to all of their cars, and you feel that immediately when you get a nice chrome detailing,
Yeah.
sporty wheel.
Very sporty, but I think it's a bit skinny. The steering wheel's a little bit skinny. Like if you're going to go for the whole sporty feel.
They haven't really changed too much, I guess, from the old 3, so it's more of a evolution than a revolution, really.
Well, the styling on the front is a huge
Yeah.
change. That big smiley face.
What is it with that? I mean, we saw it with the Peugeot and we laughed with the CC because it had that Miss World grin, but this is more like a cheeky, naughty little boy.
It's like a cartoon character, like ha 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 ha.
But every car does have that personality, and it's actually nice to see it. And I think that when you walk up the front of the Mazda 3, it really is going to kind of explain the whole driving experience for you. It is going to be naughty, fun, playful, and the car just generally has that vibe about it. But 2.5 motor, when I was driving it, it goes. It really does.
It does.
You don't need much more than this. You weren't happy with. You were saying there's a lot of travel noise.
I find it very noisy, wind noise and tire noise. I think it's very noisy. And also when you're at a robot and you're in first gear, clutch in, the engine vibrates the car, which I found quite annoying. I don't know if that's just this car, but
maybe because it's ready to race and it wants to get going. But they've got a nice selection of vehicles to choose from in a way, because if you're not the hatchback type of person, you've got the sedan option. I think that is probably the biggest strength with Mazda 3 in the past.
Yeah.
Because it came out 2004. You know what I found really interesting? We've meant to have gone through this whole global meltdown and the motor industry's been taking strain, but they've actually been improving their market share year on year, even through the tough times. So South Africans quite clearly like the Mazda 3.
yeah.
And I think it's probably the looks, because it is sporty.
You know what? Someone was actually. I said to a friend of mine, we're driving the Mazda 3 at the moment, and he was like, "Oh, what's that? It's like the new version of the 323." And if you actually think about it, that's where obviously Mazda 3 started. And I mean, that's a far away from this.
Somebody hasn't been looking when they've been driving, because there are a lot of the 3s on the road, and I like it because I think for me, I would go with the hatchback. You were saying how nice is the low loading bay as well.
Absolutely, very practical. Very practical. Not the hugest boot.
Not
But
bad
it's
for a
easy
hatchback
to
though,
load
Lindsay,
in.
seriously, it's not bad for a hatch.
True.
And it's got plenty of space,
It
which
does.
I thought was pretty good. I think the best thing is
I don't know, when
pricing.
hang on, before you say plenty of space, you didn't sit in the back. I don't think there's a lot of room in the back there.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. No, but you lying in the back.
It is a very sporty interior, but what is with all the buttons?
I know, they were raving about this new multi-informational display unit that they've got. And when I was driving, I mean, I grew up with that kind of PlayStation generation, so I'm used to pushing buttons and multitasking, but my word, it just moans at me. I mean, push that button.
Yes.
And you push
I know.
back, you push info, it just moans.
I know, but also that screen, the screen for that, is a different colour to the screen of the car. So it's kind of like an afterthought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you actually don't notice it as, it should be a bigger screen really if you want to have this whole multi-display unit, but
I don't understand why they haven't integrated everything into one. There's just so many buttons on the console, on the steering wheel. It's just too much.
I think they have integrated, but they've just left it everywhere. But at least they don't have to worry about their keys anymore. You know, they can just push the start button and off they go.
Which also works with the boot. It's just a little button that
Thumb
you press,
sensor.
and also on the outside of the door.
Yeah.
You know what else is really nice about this interior, which you won't. You're not really driving this at night time, so you won't get to see it. But it's got beautiful blue mood lighting
That comes
from
through.
here and in the footwells when you open your door.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mazda's brought in all the usual storage spaces, although personally I battle getting my girly hands in there, so not sure the 3 is suitable for manhandling. Then again, perhaps I just have big hands.
But things that they have stuck with, and I think that's part of the sporty appeal, is you look at your instrument panel, they've gone with those very prominent but deep dials, but I think they're easier to read. I think they've reworked that and improved that a bit, which is nice. Let's talk about its competition though, because this goes head to head with the Ford Focus, and we drove the new one recently. I mean, you were drifting at the pan.
No, I wasn't drifting it. I was doing handbrake turns.
Okay.
A one. Ford.
Well, not nearly as sporty and inviting a cabin, I don't think.
As the Focus, no.
Yeah.
No, this is much better.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm getting a bit
We
confused.
were lost in translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Focus just seems to be probably a little bit more safe in terms of what they've done.
Yeah.
They've just kept it very neutral, and that appeals to everybody. Whereas this, whether you're in the 1.6 or like the 2.5 individual that we're in, the individual is going to give you the sporty feel no matter what motor you're in.
I would say this is a definite over the Focus. What else is it competing with?
We could at a push even say, the new Golf 6,
Yeah.
if we're talking the hatchback, and that's probably where it's going to struggle a bit.
Yeah, I suppose it's if you want something a little different. Although, I mean, there are quite a lot of Mazdas on the road.
But that's why. It's got that distinctive look. I mean, you look at how broad the flanks are on this car. It's got a very distinctive look from the outside. So, yeah, I think it's nice to be able to have that option.
Yeah.
You can go the Golf because you know what you're getting. But if you're willing to try something new, Mazda 3 certainly is not going to disappoint.
So are we singing its praises? We are.
I'm humming them.
Humming them, not singing them?
No.
Okay, well I prefer it if you hum anyway, so that's good.
I do hum.